before being the king and being in his prime, before the muscle and tan beached, he was just a beginner, just like everyone. A young guy from Austria, from Europe, that was going to change the face of bodybuilding forever. And in this video, I would like to introduce the Golden Six, which was full body training that Arnold did in his youngster year, around 15 to 16. After his training with the military, so a lot of push-up, pull-up and running, so body weight conditioning work, he was able to slowly but surely transition into weightlifting, and after that into strength, then bodybuilding, by following his idol and icon, Reg Park, who was at the time one of the best Hercules on the screen. His logic with training was simple. He would go on three times full body per week, and he would be starting with back squat, which is a cornerstone of leg training. Everyone can benefit from them, and it is the key exercise for quads and glute growth. After that, he would move on to flat bench press, which is one of the classical way to build your chest, your triceps and your shoulder. No hard arch, and everything was done with the upper body. After that, Arnold was very keen on to doing chin-up, which is both a good way to work on your lats, which was key for Arnold since he was someone that was not genetically gifted with his waist size, but also for his huge biceps that were one of his most gigantic strong points. After that, he would move on to BTN pressing, which is of course a very controversial movement, but when you have great mobility in the shoulder, it is actually a great external rotator work and deltoid workout. After that, he would move on to barbell curl, which is again one of the most old-school and fundamental exercise you can do for your biceps, especially as it gets heavier. There is just nothing more badass than to curl pretty strict, a very heavy weight to develop both your core and your biceps muscle. And finally, he would finish on to move on to with sit-up, which is a pretty simple and yet effective anterior core work and anti-hip extension movement. So here is the summary as you can see, and as it is pretty basic, I will give you my review and try to give you a better choice to do. So first things first is that back squat 3 times per week can be very stressful on the low back and the knee, and it is also insufficient for your legs. Same thing for the bench press. The bench press is one of the best shoulder killer ever, and the pressing volume is very high, especially for the anterior delt. There is not much pulling actually, and not much posterior chain work. So that would be the two first things that we need to correct. First thing we need to do is to include some leg curl to balance out the quad and biceps femoris and overall hamstring strength around the knee to prevent both injuries and to have better development across the leg. The second thing would be to vary the chin grip. If you do pronated grip with a wide grip, you will be mostly working the forearm and the teres major. If you do normal chin up with supinated grip, it will be biceps and lats, and neutral grip will be a bit of everything. We would be very wise to include barbell rowing, which is of course an old school exercise too, which will work isometrically your whole posterior chain while allowing for horizontal pulling movement. For BTN pressing, if you do not have the mobility, front pressing with a barbell will be more than enough for you to develop exactly the same muscle with a pretty safer position, or at least a newer alternative position, standing or seated. For squats, to improve the quad recruitment, I would suggest to use blocks under your heels to elevate them, and it will be easier for you that way to go down with more upright torso and to achieve more knee flexion. That way you spare your lower back, you shift a bit of the posterior chain work onto the quad work, and all around you will have better development in the legs, especially the VMO, one of the most impressive muscle of the quad, rather than just having wide hips. Another good exercise you can do if you have the mobility and the willpower for it is the front squat, which was one of the favorites of Arnold himself, and that is one of the best exercises you can do with a free barbell and with limited equipment for your quads. After that, we can also attest of a lack of triceps movement. So an easy way and an easy fix for that is to simply use more close grip on presses. So of course the cross grip bench press is one of the staples for that, and I highly recommend you to do some to shift more onto the triceps. We can also do some isolation, and of course there is all machine and cable that you could use, but a simple old school basic you can also do is something called the bent arm pullover, or the pullover triceps that you can see me doing on the screen right now. It is a combo pullover and tricep extension, and this was the way you were doing skull crusher, the old school way. You would not fix the elbow, and there would be much more long head of a tricep recruitment that way. Another thing we can add on is that straight bar can be very stressful on a joint, especially on curls if you have a valgus around your elbow. So one easy fix again is to use easy bar curl, and that way you will have way less strain on your joint, but will work exactly the same muscle wise. Same thing with the dumbbell implementation for your presses. If you do not want to press always all the time with a barbell, it is of course a great idea to implement some dumbbell pressing, whatever the angle, high incline, shoulder press, low incline, etc, etc. And lastly, I found dips to be one of the best staple ever movement for upper body pressing, whatever if you want to choose to do it as a strength movement or to focus something specific like chest or triceps. So both weighted and body weight training on them will be paramount, at least as a beginner. And yet again, varying the incline pressing will also be key, in my opinion. So here is my own take on the Golden 6 that I revisited for you. You can try it. The goal here is to have all key movement, but have some rotation to avoid plateauing, overuse, and just boredom in general. If you get strong on all of this movement, you'll be much more thoroughly developed, will have way less risk of weak point, and will reach intermediate level or just have fun with your training much faster. So that is it for the video. I thank you for watching. I would like to thank everyone for the support lately. I've not been able to upload as frequently. I had some health problem, but as you can see, I made my best to maintain my shape. This was after filming these clips of training to show you the exercise. And strangely enough, it felt good to actually pump the exact same muscles that Arnold had overly developed. I am a personal trainer, and I can help you online achieve some of your fitness goals, so you can contact me about that. I do personalized training, diet, I do some online coaching, and I also train people of the posing art. So thank you for watching. Please give me a comment, a like, tell me if you like this kind of video. I would really love to share more about the old school legend of this sport, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care and bye.